Welcome to the HFY Tales channel. Remember to like and subscribe if you like the story. Enjoy and take care.
Dilip had always dreamed of exploring the cosmos, but nothing could have prepared him for the sights and sounds of the Zarathan marketplace. As he stepped off the transport ship, his senses were assaulted by a whirlwind of colors, scents, and unfamiliar languages. Stall vendors called out in a chorus of melodic tones, their wares on display: glowing fruits, intricate fabrics, and oddly shaped artifacts that seemed to dance in the sunlight. His heart raced as he wandered deeper into the marketplace, his mind a flurry of excitement. Suddenly, among the bustling crowds, a figure caught his eye, and everything else faded into the background. Tuli stood no taller than a human child, but her beauty was striking. Her skin shimmered like the night sky, deep azure with speckles of silver that seemed to twinkle as she moved. She wore a dress made from a cascading material that flowed like water, accentuating her every graceful movement. For Dilip, time stood still as he observed her, captivated by the way her laughter mingled with the crowd, like a sweet melody in a cacophony of noise. As if sensing his gaze, Tuli turned, and her emerald green eyes locked onto his with an intensity that made his heart skip a beat. He felt a flutter in his chest, a feeling he hadn't experienced in what felt like ages. She smiled softly, and in that moment, Dilip knew he had to speak to her. Gathering his courage, he approached her stall, where she was arranging colorful orbs, each pulsing with energy. Hi," he blurted, instantly regretting how awkward he sounded. Her smile widened. "Hello, traveler. You seem a bit lost among the colors. Just overwhelmed, I guess." "I'm Dilip," he said, extending his hand hesitantly. "Tuli," she replied, taking his hand in hers. Her touch sent a shiver down his spine, something electric and yet soothing. "You're not from here, are you?" "No, I'm from Earth. Just visiting," he said, his cheeks warming under her curious gaze. As they chatted, Tuli animatedly described her world, her eyes sparkling as she spoke of her culture, one that believed in deep, lifelong connections between mates. "We wait for the moment of choosing. It's a sacred bond, a promise of forever," she explained. Dilip, intrigued, felt a pang of uncertainty at her words. The idea of a lifelong mate felt intense, foreign even. "Isn't that a lot of pressure?" he asked, its weight settling between them. Tuli laughed lightly, the sound melodic like a gentle breeze. "It's not pressure if it's real. There is nothing beautiful about fleeting attachments." Dilip pondered her words. Perhaps that was the difference between their worlds. His often celebrated the temporary, while hers cherished the enduring. There was something refreshing about Tuli's confidence in her beliefs, yet a knot formed in his stomach, foreshadowing the challenges they would soon face. Over the next few days, Dilip found himself returning to the marketplace, drawn magnetically to Tuli like a moth to a flame. Each encounter felt like an adventure, filled with joy and laughter. They wandered through stalls, exchanging stories of their respective worlds, Dilip sharing tales of Earth's culture, politics, and the peculiarities of human life, while Tuli introduced him to her planet's customs, flora, and fauna, enchanting him with traditions steeped in meaning. As they strolled side by side, their fingers brushed occasionally, sending electric sparks through Dilip's body. Tuli's laughter filled the air around them, soothing him and making his worries dissipate like morning mist. The more he learned about her, the deeper he fell into the unique rhythm of her world. One afternoon, while lounging under the shade of a grand tree that shimmered with golden leaves, Dilip turned the conversation toward the concept of mating. "You mentioned something about choosing a mate," he said carefully, hoping to understand her customs more deeply. "What does that really mean to you?" Tuli leaned back, her eyes reflecting the vibrant canopy above. "It's profound, Dilip. In my culture, the moment of choosing is a ceremony. It's a bond that seals a promise for life. Mates are chosen only once," she explained, her voice steady but full of emotion. "It's believed that we are all connected through threads of destiny. When we choose, we align those threads." Dilip felt his heart race at the intensity of her words. "That sounds beautiful," he said, though his mind raced with complexities. "But what if you choose wrong?" Tuli's gaze remained steady on him. "That's not possible. When you choose, You choose with your heart. You feel it in every part of your being. The bond is too strong to be mistaken. He pondered this while considering the heart-wrenching struggles of fleeting relationships in his own world. Could such a strong bond exist? Would it stand the test of time and circumstance? Days passed, and with each moment spent together, the connection between Dilip and Tuli strengthened. They shared secrets, fears, and dreams. Tuli confided about her ambitions to explore the stars, mirroring Dilip's own desires to forge new paths. Eventually, they began to reveal bits of vulnerability, and laughter transitioned into a tender wistfulness, a longing that neither fully understood but both felt undeniably. During an evening stroll, a radiant sunset painted the sky in hues of crimson and gold. The marketplace was quieter now, the hustle of the day giving way to a serene calm. As they paused by a fountain that sparkled like stardust, Dilip turned to Tuli and said, "I've never felt this way about anyone before." His voice was barely above a whisper. Tuli's expression softened. "Neither have I," she confessed, her eyes glistening with emotion. Time seemed to freeze, and the distance between them dissipated. Dilip's heart raced as they drew closer. He wanted to pull her into an embrace, to solidify the bond he felt deep within himself, but doubts clouded his mind. He recalled her words about lifelong commitments and felt the weight of their cultural differences loom overhead. Could he really be what she needed? Just then, an abrupt sound shattered the moment. A loud commotion erupted from a nearby stall. Dilip instinctively reached for Tuli's hand, linking their fingers together as they turned to see what was happening. A vendor had been struggling with a group of rowdy patrons, and the scene quickly escalated. As the commotion unfolded, Tuli's eyes darted back to Dilip, concern etched across her face. "We should go," she urged, leading him away from the chaos. They hurried down a narrow alley, finally stopping in a secluded corner illuminated by dim lights. Tuli let out a sigh of relief, and Dilip stole a glance at her, the intensity of the moment still clinging to the air between them. "Are you okay?" Dilip asked, brushing a strand of hair behind Tuli's ear, their closeness igniting an unintentional surge of vulnerability. "More than okay," she replied, her voice barely a whisper, their eyes locking in an unspoken understanding. They stood there, sharing a breath, two worlds colliding in the stillness. The bond that began with laughter and shared dreams had deepened into something profound, yet the challenge loomed, a choice yet to be made. As Dilip and Tuli's connection deepened, so did the undercurrents of tension from Tuli's world. One evening, as they met in the marketplace, Tuli seemed distracted, her gaze flickering to the entrance with unease. Dilip noticed immediately. Her vibrant spirit appeared dimmed by something looming just beyond their idyllic bubble. "Tuli, is everything all right?" he asked, concern furrowing his brow. She hesitated, her lips pressed together as she weighed her words. "It's just my family," she finally said, glancing away. "They want me to meet someone. A suitor." Dilip felt a knot tighten in his stomach at her words. "A suitor? Is that how it works in your culture? Do you have to?" The idea felt jarring. Tuli's expression hardened, and she looked back at him, intensity burning in her emerald eyes. "It is tradition, an expectation. My family believes that I should choose someone who understands our values, someone strong and dedicated to our people." As Tuli disclosed her family's desires, Dilip's heart sank. He could feel the weight of cultural expectations pressing down on them. Did she want to choose? Did she feel obliged to comply with a tradition that appeared so foreign to him? "Tuli, you deserve someone who makes you feel alive," he said hesitantly, searching for the right words. "Someone who understands you, not just your culture." "Or perhaps someone who embodies it completely," she replied, a hint of defiance in her tone. "What do you know of my people? Of their values?" The challenge in her voice struck him like a cold wave. Dilip's instinct was to push back. He didn't want to be viewed as just an outsider. Still, her words made him question his place in her life. Over the next few days, Tuli seemed distant. Although they still met, their conversations were peppered with tension, her laughter more subdued. Then, one afternoon, Dilip witnessed a tall, imposing figure approaching Tuli in the marketplace, a suitor. He wore traditional garb, exuding an air of confidence that made Dileep's stomach churn. Dileep felt the instinctive surge of jealousy grip him tightly as he watched the suitor interact with Tuli. The way the other man spoke with her, gesturing animatedly, made it clear he was trying to impress her, to win her over. As Tuli's laughter rang out, it sounded different, lighter, and Dileep's heart twisted painfully at the sight. A mix of emotions roiled within him, fear, insecurity, and a gnawing sense of inadequacy. Frustrated by his own feelings, Dileep confronted Tuli later that evening. "What's going on with that suitor?" he asked, unable to suppress the surge of emotion. "Do you actually want to meet him?" Tuli paused, taken aback. "Dileep, it's not as simple as you think. I must consider my family's wishes. They believe he is suitable for me, and perhaps they're right. Perhaps, or you were taught to believe that." He drew closer, determination in his voice. "Tuli, don't you understand? You deserve more than duty. You deserve the kind of love we've talked about." "Love," Tuli snapped, her voice rising. "It's not just about feelings. It's about honor, commitment to my people. I can't simply throw it away for a fleeting passion." Her words hung in the air, cutting deeper than any knife. Dileep felt the chasm of their cultural differences widening between them. The passion they shared seemed overshadowed by the weight of expectation. In the following days, the tension escalated. Dileep began to withdraw, feeling like an outsider in a world that was not his own. Tuli noticed, but every time she reached out, his guarded demeanor pushed her away. Then came the night of the Marketplace Festival, a lively celebration of unity among her people. Tuli's family encouraged her to attend with her suitor, and as much as it shattered Dileep's heart, he too knew that she needed to cultivate her ties. Feeling restless and abandoned, he wandered the festival alone, trying to drown out the laughter and joy that echoed around him. The sights and sounds of happiness contrasted painfully with his growing sense of loneliness. He caught fleeting glimpses of Tuli, adorned in festival garb, laughing with her suitor, and it felt like daggers to his heart. In a moment of rage and hurt, Dileep confronted Tuli in a quiet corner of the festival. "You chose him, didn't you?" he accused, unable to hold back the bitterness in his voice. "Chose him? I haven't chosen anyone," Tuli replied, exasperation clear in her features. "This is tradition, not a choice I wanted to make." "Then why are you entertaining him?" Dileep shot back, his emotions boiling over. "If your heart is with me, why aren't you fighting for it?" "We can't just ignore our cultures, Dileep," Tuli exclaimed, frustration spilling over. "You don't understand what this means to me. I'm being torn between my duty and my feelings. I can't just follow my heart." With those words, the chasm between them felt insurmountable. Both felt the reality of their disparate worlds crashing down upon them. In that moment, Dileep's heart shattered, and he turned away, unable to bear the thought of what was becoming of them. The misunderstanding spiraled into a painful silence between the two as they found themselves standing on opposite sides of their worlds. A human caught in an alien culture, and an alien bound by tradition. Days turned into a blur of longing and confusion for both Dileep and Tuli. After that heated encounter at the festival, they avoided each other, the silence between them thick and suffocating. Dileep wandered the marketplace alone, grappling with his emotions while trying to convince himself that Tuli was right. Perhaps he was just a fleeting distraction in her life, a temporary escape from her culture, not a real part of it. But deep inside, the ache of his heart told him otherwise. He thought about the bond they had shared, the laughter, the dreams, the discoveries. Tuli had opened a door to feelings he had never experienced before, and now that door seemed locked. In her absence, Dileep began to walk the path of self-reflection. He sought solitude among the stunning landscapes of Tuli's home, gazing at vivid sunsets and extraordinary vistas. Every breathtaking moment was a reminder of the connection they had shared. It became harder to dismiss the insights he had gained about himself through Tuli. After weeks of avoidance, Dileep finally made the decision that shifted his resolve. He would return to the marketplace, not with despair but with determination. He had to confront his feelings and be honest with Tuli. As he crossed the threshold of the bustling market, a wave of nostalgia washed over him. The familiar sights, sounds, and smells felt like pieces of a fragmented memory, and he felt the vibrant energy of the marketplace rekindling his hope. He navigated through the crowd, scanning every face in search of Thule. A familiar figure caught his eye as he approached her stall, the one adorned with glowing orbs. There she was, Thule, her laughter ringing bright as she chatted with another vendor. For a moment, Dilip stood frozen, mesmerized by her beauty and the warmth she exuded, even from a distance. Gathering his thoughts, Dilip moved toward Thule, his heart pounding with every step. He had brought something special to offer, a piece of art he had crafted from Earth, representing their connection. It was a simple pendant, handmade from a unique, shimmering material that changed colors with the light, a reminder of how their love felt, vibrant and energetic. As he approached, Thule noticed him, and their eyes locked. Time appeared to pause as the distance between them collapsed, though a shadow of uncertainty clouded her smile. "Dilip," she said softly, looking both relieved and anxious. "I came to find you," he replied, holding out the pendant. "I wanted to give you this." Thule stared at the shimmering pendant, her eyes wide with surprise. "Dilip, this is beautiful, but nothing," he interrupted gently. "I need you to understand that I'm here, and I want you, Thule. I admire your culture, but I cannot allow the weight of traditions to dictate our hearts. You have to choose what's right for you." Thule took the pendant in her hands, her expression torn. "Dilip, it's not that simple. My family will not accept this, the life we envision. It's so different. They have expectations of me." "I know," Dilip replied, his voice steady. "But what about your happiness? What about us? We can create our own path, Thule, irrespective of what others think. Love shouldn't be a chain, it should be a bond." Thule's expression softened, uncertainty mingling with hope. "You make it sound so easy. To love across worlds, across cultures. But we have commitments." Dilip took a step closer, his voice dropping to a whisper. "What if we defy those commitments? What if we choose for ourselves?" In that moment, the weight of their cultural tensions didn't vanish, but their emotions flickered brightly in the air around them. They both craved the connection, but stood on the brink of a choice that could change everything. As they spoke, their truths spilled forth like unguarded secrets. Thule revealed her fears of disappointing her family, of being viewed as a traitor to her culture. Dilip opened up about his own struggles with belonging and commitment, the fear of loving someone so deeply that it hurt. "Sometimes I think love is the biggest risk we take," Dilip said, "but it's the most incredible leap we can make." Thule swallowed, her heart racing. "Do you really believe we have a chance?" Dilip took her hands, the pendant resting between them like a promise. "I believe that if we choose to fight for it, we can break down any walls built by culture or duty. But it starts with honesty. I need you to be honest with yourself." That night, as they parted, both were left with a lingering sense of hope mixed with uncertainty. Thule knew she had a decision to make between the life she had known and the unfamiliar one Dilip had opened up for her. Days passed, each filled with contemplation. Could she brave the disapproval of her family to follow her heart? Could she fight for a love that felt destined, a bond that, despite their differences, felt impossible to ignore? Through her struggles, she sought answers beneath the glittering stars. The more Thule thought about her life's path, the more she felt the call of her heart, the one that whispered Dilip's name. The days of separation had been torturous for both Dilip and Thule, but their growing resolve nudged them back together. They met once more in the market under the soft glow of the evening lights, where the vibrant aromas and sounds of the festival surrounded them. Dilip could feel the weight of expectation in the air. "Thule," he began, his voice low but steady. "I've missed you. I've thought about our conversation. I don't want to lose you because of tradition or obligations." Thule looked up, her gaze searching his face. "Dilip, I felt the same. But my family." Her voice trailed off, and Dilip could see the conflict within her. "Forget traditions for a moment. For just once, think about us. What do you want?" he urged, stepping even closer. "I want to feel," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "But the weight of my family's expectations, it keeps pulling me back." Dilip took a deep breath, steeling himself for what he was about to say. Then let me show you what it means to feel this connection. Truly feel it. We can break free together. He reached for her hand, his own emotions tinged with urgency. There's something sacred about what we could create together, our mating. It doesn't have to conform to anyone's expectations. It can be our own promise to each other. A flicker of uncertainty crossed Tuli's face, but it was quickly replaced by fierce determination. Mating. It's more than a bond. It's everything in my culture. But if I choose you, I'm choosing to challenge my entire world. I know, Dilip replied, his heart pounding. But might it also mean creating something beautiful, something that transcends those traditions? A love that's just ours. Her brows furrowed, and he watched as she battled with her thoughts. You're asking me to gamble everything I've ever known for something so uncertain. Dilip took a step back, sensing her hesitation. I may not understand everything about your culture, but I know that what we share is rare. He began, his voice softening. I want to mate with you. I want to build a life with you, regardless of the challenges we'll face. We have to create our own narrative, Tuli. Let our love redefine what it means for us. The air around them felt charged, the connection between their hearts palpable. Tuli's expression shifted, her resolve gradually melting away as hope flared within her. Dilip, I don't know if I can live without you. You've become a part of me in ways I never expected, Tuli confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. The truth in her words hung heavy between the two as they navigated the daunting landscape of their feelings. With a steely breath, Tuli took hold of Dilip's hand, her grip firm. If we're going to defy convention, let's do it together, without fear. Together, Dilip echoed, his heart swelling. They moved closer, every instinct urging them to embrace the connection that had grown and flourished despite the odds. In that moment, it felt as though they were stepping into a new world, one crafted solely by their vows and right to love. As the festival continued around them, they sought solace beneath a canopy of stars, where the noise of the crowd faded into the background. Tuli took out the pendant Dilip had given her, its colors reflecting the light of the celestial bodies above. We'll create our own bond, she declared, her voice steady. A mating of our souls, combining our worlds into one. They stood facing one another, the energy swirling around them as they began a ritual of their own making. As Tuli spoke words of connection, a blend of her native tongue mixed with the honesty of her heart, Dilip mirrored her, weaving his own heartfelt promises. The ethereal light of the pendant brightened, wrapping them both in a gentle embrace, symbolizing their union. A warmth enveloped them, and in that moment, they sealed their bond with a kiss, electric and pure. As they pulled away, their hearts still racing, Tuli felt lighter, unburdened. I choose you, Dilip. My heart, my soul, I give all of it to you. Together we will forge our path, he vowed, the weight of their choices transforming into a lightness of hope. In that embrace of shared commitment, they chose to break free from their fears, creating a powerful connection that radiated beyond cultural boundaries. Together, they had found their way through the darkness into a love forged by their choices. Weeks turned into months as Dilip and Tuli navigated the intricacies of their new life together. They shared moments of joy, laughter, and challenge, growing with each turn of the road. Their love blossomed like the vibrant flowers of Tuli's world, each color representing a unique experience they embraced. Despite the initial challenges from her community, Tuli began to share her bond with Dilip openly. She explained to her family their decision, urging them to see the beauty and love that transcended cultures. While some family members struggled with acceptance, many recognized the depth of their commitment. Dilip immersed himself in Tuli's culture, learning about their traditions, history, and values, while also sharing pieces of his own world, engaging them with tales of his travels. This mutual exchange created bridges where there had once been walls, transforming skepticism into understanding over time. Their conversations often returned to the day they had chosen to mate, a day that had transformed both their lives forever. It marked the beginning of their journey, where love became a decision, not just a fleeting emotion. Of course, not everything was easy. Dilip faced challenges adapting to living on a new planet, their inherent cultural clashes leading to misunderstandings at times. Yet, through open communication and love, they addressed issues as they arose, gradually building a life rich with trust and shared visions. One evening, as they sat beneath the stars, they reflected on their journey, the challenges of maintaining their bond in a world so different yet so united. "Tuli," Dilip said, taking her hand, "do you ever regret choosing this path with me?" "Never," she responded, her eyes sparkling. "What we have created is extraordinary. You have challenged me to see love differently, to embrace all of who I am." As the seasons would shift, so too did Dilip and Tuli's lives. They learned to forge new traditions that honored both their cultures, celebrating human festivals alongside alien ones, creating a beautiful tapestry of experiences that defined their shared journey. And as they looked ahead, both felt an indescribable warmth blossom within their chests. Their union, strong, beautiful, and unique, had defied the odds and rewritten their destinies. In a world that often sought to define love within the confines of culture and duty, Dilip and Tuli stood firm as a testament to love's power, a love that chose one another against all odds. Together, they had created not just a partnership, but a lasting bond that continued to grow. They learned that love was a journey, filled with richness and promise, one that shaped their lives far beyond the moment they chose one another. As they held each other close under the vast expanse of the universe, Dilip and Tuli understood. Their hearts were intertwined, forever connected by the choices they had made and the love they had nurtured, ready to rise up and face whatever the cosmos had in store for them.